Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. So we're going to have a lesson today while I am on my last retreat of the year. We're going to keep going. We have like 3 more sections of this chapter before we move into Holy Week. So we are going to go ahead and do that today. Just a couple of quick reminders. Camp registration closes Thursday. So if you want to go, please register ASAP. Prep forms are due on Wednesday. Operation Fiat is tonight. And we do have XLT on Wednesday night. One thing about prep forms, if you need another one, just go ahead and grab one off my desk. And that is our reminders. Oh, and we are going to have a quiz on Wednesday. Forgot about that. Okay, we'll have a quiz on Wednesday. I'll tell you tomorrow more what that will be on. Okay? All right, so do me a favor. Let's open up our books and let's get started. Okay, so today we are going to do section 51, the Good Shepherd, okay? Now, we've seen a lot already, this imagery that Jesus has used with regards to sheep, and we've talked a lot about how the people of that time would have understood that. So this whole first paragraph here, okay, is Jesus talking about sheep and how sheep are very, they rely very heavily on their shepherds. And the people would understand that, but they don't quite understand what Jesus is talking about with regards to that. They're like, okay, great. Yeah. So sheep listen to their shepherds. Sheep stay in their little, sheepfold. Okay. And that's what this is about here. This orange box here is about a sheepfold. Okay. And that is where this is an enclosure that sheep would stay in. And then at the gate, the shepherd would actually lie there at night to protect his sheep. And sheep and their shepherds had a connection. And that's what Jesus is trying to insinuate and get through to them in this. So he gives this whole explanation here in this first paragraph, like I said, that they don't get. So then he kind of explains it further, okay? And he says that he is the gate for his sheep, okay? Other people came before him, but they didn't listen to him. He says that he's the gate. He is the one that protects and cares for his sheep. He goes on to say, whoever enters through him will be saved, and who will come and go out and find pasture. A thief comes only to steal and slaughter and destroy. I came so they might have life and have it more abundantly. Okay, again, Jesus is saying that he is the good shepherd. He has come to take care of his sheep. And then in verse 11, he actually says that. Okay, he says, I am the good shepherd, all right? The one who is going to be there to protect and to care for. He goes on to say, a good shepherd lays down his life for his sheep. Now, Jesus, we know, is literally going to lay down his life, literally going to die for us. Now, reading all of this, we know that Jesus, nope, I don't want that. Let's erase that there. This is, I don't know if you hear that noise. It's my dog that's in the room, and she's just being herself. So Jesus is the shepherd, and we, the people, are the sheep, okay? So Jesus is taking care of us, his people, okay? We are the ones that he is caring for. He's leading us away from danger. He is leading us to safety. Okay, and Jesus, just like a shepherd, is willing to die for us. Okay, if we go to verse 14, Jesus goes on to say, I am the good shepherd and I know mine and mine know me. Okay, meaning he knows his followers, and his followers, us, we know him. Just as the Father knows me and I know the Father, I will lay down my life for the sheep. Again, Jesus is telling us that he is going to die for us. Now, verse 16 is very important, okay? In verse 16, Jesus says, I have other sheep that do not belong to this fold. These are other people, okay, that perhaps are not followers of Jesus. And specifically at this time period, he's talking about the Gentiles, but they too are saved by Jesus. They too are going to be protected by him. And he is laying down his life for them as well. Jesus is making it clear here that just because they don't follow him and they're not part of his fold doesn't mean that he's not protecting them. He continues to go on and says, "These also I must lead, and they will hear my voice, and there will be one flock, one shepherd." Eventually, he's saying that everyone's going to believe in him, okay? Everyone, whether they're part of the fold now or not. And Jesus then in verse 18 is going to say, I laid down on my own. What does he lay down? He says, I lay down my life in order to take it up again. No one takes it from me. What Jesus is saying here, and this is really very important, is that Jesus is choosing to die. Yes, he is killed, but he is choosing to do this. No one's making him, no one's forcing him. He's choosing to. And in turn, he is going to rise from the dead. Okay, and he has that power. He goes on to say, I have the power to lay it down. I have the power to take it up again. And that's come from God. So he's saying, nobody is making me die. I am choosing to die myself, and I am able to raise and rise myself from the dead because of my Father God. And we see in verse 19, again, there was a division among the Jews because of these words. Many of them said, he is possessed and out of his mind. Why listen to him? Others said, these are not the words of one who is possessed. Such surely a demon cannot open the eyes of the blind. So guys, what we're seeing here is, again, that some people leave, okay? Again, another really hard concept for them to believe. How can this man be a shepherd? What is he talking about? Okay, what is he talking about? He's the shepherd and their sheep. And what do you mean he's going to lay it down his life? He's going to die and take it back up again? That doesn't make sense. They don't get it. So many of them do leave. Now, this passage here is just beautiful. And this whole reading is celebrated every year on the fourth Sunday of Easter, called Good Shepherd Sunday. Okay, that's what that is called. And on Good Shepherd Sunday, this gospel is read, and this is where we remember Jesus laying down his life for the sheep, and we remember the vocations, the priests and the brothers and the nuns who follow in Jesus's footsteps in leading us to the faith. And that's really what is so beautiful. And again, remember that all of these stories are leading us to Jesus dying on the cross and resurrecting. Okay, Jesus just doesn't do this out of nowhere. Jesus very clearly lets people know what is going to happen. Okay, he has given many clues beforehand. The question is whether or not they hear it and they believe it. So that is the end of this section, okay? Right now I want you to work on homework 51, and then tomorrow we should finish up this chapter, okay? All right, guys, so have a great rest of your Monday, and I will see you tomorrow.